Heyo! Welcome to the OmniDog and OmniCat comic book review show. I'm OmniDog, and who are you, young lady?
I guess I'm OmniCat.
You're OmniCat. For purposes of this show.
That's right.
How are you?
You know, I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's a good day. It's my 1-year wedding anniversary.
1 year? Wow.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I'm celebrating with the show. So no, we're going somewhere after the show, but yeah.
Oh, good.
It's
Very
exciting.
nice. Wow.
Go to look for comics. That's us. You know how we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys do you the best.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, there's one thing I need to do real quick. Let me do this. Yada-dee. Am I still on the air?
Yeah.
Okay, because I need to turn this on.
For anyone watching, Jess just showed up like a second before we went live. I was like, where is this guy?
I was here, but I had forgotten to add myself to the thing. To the screen. I'm like, hello, Kristen. Kristen, can you hear me? Hello.
Like, I couldn't even
add myself to the duh. Okay, now we're good to go. Okay, now we are ready for the dog and cat show. All you Omni dogs and Omni kittens out there. I had a full couple of days of reading. I had to do an awful lot of 90s X-Men reading, so I won't include this in my reading for this because it's for a show that will eventually happen with Tyler Blunt. He is so hard to he's as hard to nail down. It's like nailing ketchup to the wall with this guy. I just cannot nail him down to do a show. And Taylor
Ketchup
Blunt,
to the wall.
what?
Ketchup to the wall. I like that.
Yeah, it is. We might be doing a show on 90s X-Men tomorrow. But I have had to read a lot of 90s X-Men, and that takes a while, man. That stuff is convoluted.
I got through like half of the Age of Apocalypse Omni, and I was like, I'm done for now. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and now I'm on to the next thing I have to read is the first 14 issues of X-Force. And I may do that after this. It's just, it's so X-Men now, even bad X-Men now, is at least easier to read. It flows It's cleaner. It seems to just be, it's not like 55 pages of explanation boxes.
I mean, that's the worst part, right? Like, that's the thing I remember the most. I think I was reading some Gambit story, and it was like, he hid behind the bushes. Did you know that he hid behind the bushes? And here's why he hid behind the bushes. And I'm like, come on, the art. I mean, thankfully it's 2019. People know now the art. You don't have to like spell it all out. You can just show it in the art, and we're like, oh, he's hiding behind the bushes. You don't have to tell me like 100 times. It's good.
Yeah, that's right. But apparently I'm coming up on something really great, which is, Executioner's Song. That's my friend from Germany, Patrick, tells me that's his favorite X-Men crossover of the 90s. And he says, I really have something to look forward to. So I am going to look forward to that. And Taylor Brown's jamming me up. I have to show this because it's totally true. This is what you get for buying an Omni to display your figures in front of, and that is true. I had Deadpool and X-Force and Cable and X-Force, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to have X-Force now because I got all these X-Force figures, and they need a book to stand in front of. Like Boom Boom, who I now know really well, and Warlock, who sadly died. I have no idea if he comes back. But let's get to what we've read.
Okay. You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
You know, speaking of 90s comics, 90s comics, they're often silly and ridiculous. Some of them, right?
Sure.
This isn't a 90s comic, but it is silly and ridiculous, and that is Namwolf.
Namwolf.
Namwolf. So this is an Albatross book, which is Eric Powell's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He put it out. This is actually a pickup of Reed's. So one, I love this cover. It's a good cover, right?
Yeah.
I told Jess before the show I'm going to pull a Jess a lot today, and I'm going to read the backs of these books because I read and love these books, but it's been a bit, and I've had a long week, and I'm tired. So here we go. I'll show you some of this great art, though. All right. When scrawny Marty Spencer is drafted into the Vietnam War, he finds himself smack dab in the heart of the darkness. But Marty has a secret even from himself. And Vietnam is a hell of a place to find out you're a werewolf. All right. So obviously the title and what happens is absolutely ridiculous. And it is. This is a really ridiculous story, but it's also kind of awesome, right? So it is set in Vietnam. Marty is a scrawny dude, and, you know, he's not that powerful. Oh, here's a good Mike Mignola cover. And I really like this, like, sketchy kind of art. It's really good. But yeah, so there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of violence. It is set in Vietnam. So, you know, there's the rough war aspects. Plus, Marty turns into a werewolf. So a lot of, you know, people in his platoon, like, are against him. But then they realize he's helping him a lot because he's turning into a werewolf and, like, doing good damage, right? It's, again, it is ridiculous. But there was a lot of heart in it, and I liked that. And if you like a good war story with a side of ridiculous, and it's pretty bloody. Here's some more blood.
Whoa, that's a lot of blood.
It's a lot of blood, so watch out for that. It's not for everyone, but I like these covers. These are good covers. But I enjoyed it, you know? It's not going to blow you away, but you're going to have fun. And I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
So it's a werewolf in Vietnam. That's what you're going to get. And it's one and done, and it's quick, and you're going to have a good time. Nice. So check it out.
Yeah, well, we want to have fun. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to read from the back of all of my books.
Oh, great. Let's do it. It's going to be that show.
Well, I don't need to for most of these, but for the first one, I'm going to have to because it was very complicated, and reading from the back will help me. This first book is going to be, I've had it for a while, and I've been wanting to read it for a while. When did it get put out? 2018, but I just read it this year, so it's going to qualify for one of my top books. And it's by Matt Hawkins, who is one of the writers of Postal and Tithe, and what was the other one? Tithe, Postal.
I'm forgetting it too. What is the other one? Someone in the chat's going to know.
Tithe, Postal, and Think Tank.
Oh.
So this has pages and pages of reference material in the back for this. So this is called Stairway. And I will start it out. In 2012, geneticists discovered a way to write information on DNA as if it were a computer hard drive. When a postgraduate student finds a way to unlock ancient information hiding in our so-called junk DNA, this discovery triggers the largest scientific initiative since the Manhattan Project as analysts attempt to collect and collate the newfound data. But will they find a stairway to heaven hiding in our genes, or will they unleash something that will kill us all? That doesn't even do it justice, because what they do is they discover that somehow some ancient civilization or God or aliens have implanted something in our so-called junk, have implanted something, some special DNA in certain people. There's 66 known special people on Earth that if they can harvest that DNA, they can build something with it. So here they are. They've captured, well, they haven't captured, but they've Yeah, they kind of captured this homeless little girl and promised her, you know, a brighter future so they can harvest this one little sample DNA from her. And it turns into this thing. This is how it manifests itself, this thing. And they take it and they add it to this giant cube, which has manifested itself with the other 64 pieces of DNA they've managed to collect. And they need one more piece of DNA to make it complete. And this thing, it has intelligence, it's sentient, but they don't know its purpose. And the scientists are trying to figure out what it can do and what its purpose is. And I don't want to, it is so good. I don't want to get too far into it, but choices have to be made by the scientists. The Earth, this is in 2048, and the Earth is basically a mess. India and Pakistan had a nuclear exchange that basically changed the entire structure of the Earth. It changed the climate. Waters rose. New York, Los Angeles were completely wiped out. Lots of places were made uninhabitable. And they're trying to figure out in 2048 if this thing can help with the destruction that happened back in 2023 when India and Pakistan had this nuclear exchange. And it turns out this cube does have a solution, but it requires a really radical decision on this woman's part with her daughter that she loves. This woman has the last piece of DNA, and she has to decide whether or not she's going to give it up to make it happen, to complete the giant cube and make sure that the world can be changed. The world can be changed, but it's up to her, and she's reluctant to let it happen. So it's very science fiction-y, very thriller-y, really good. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff in the back, like Matt Hawkins does with the other books. It started out as a Kickstarter, apparently, but there's a whole thing in the back about the history of DNA and stuff, and it's really cool. So I love this book. I already gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. How about
Nice.
that? Thank you. So Stairway is really, really good. I dug it completely.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it was really interesting and well done.
I'm going to check that out. All right, my next read that I'm going to read the back of is Mooncakes. So this is I'll just read the back. One fateful night, I'll do like you do. I'll open it and I'll read the back. Let's see if I can do that.
That's the best way to do it.
One fateful night, teen witch Nova follows reports of a white wolf in the woods and discovers her childhood crush, werewolf Tam Lang, battling a horse demon. Now, against the background of a slowly rekindling romance, Tam and Nova must investigate the dark supernatural forces eager to claim wolf magic for evil. All right. So yeah, this is all about witches, and there's a werewolf, and the two main characters, they used to know each other when they were children, and, the wolf kind of comes back in her life and brings some craziness with her. So they got to figure out what's going on with the, horse in the woods, and there's like all this dark magic, and I really love this art too. Also, it's not fluffy. That's the back of the book made it sound kind of Twilighty, and no, it's not like that at all. Also, one of the main characters is non-binary, which is great because you never see that, so that's really good. But I loved all of the characters. This is one of her best friends. Like, everyone was just really likable and well thought out, and I love a good magic book. I know you do too.
I do.
And there's a great story involved, and I really loved it. I think this is great for like fans of a lot of the current Boom series. It reminded me of something like that. This is actually Lion Forge.
The current Boom series of what?
just like Giant Days. They
Oh.
reminded me a lot of like the characters from Giant Days or Fence, the Avant-Gardes, all the stuff I've been loving lately. It felt similar to those sort of just really likable characters and fun adventure. And again, it's a one and done book, and it didn't take that long, and I was thoroughly captivated the whole time. So if you like a good magic book, I feel like this is for you.
Ooh.
Look at that. And I like the art a lot. So that's Mooncakes.
And wait, who's the publisher?
Lionforge.
Lionforge, okay.
Yeah, Tilly Walden and Katie O'Neill blurbed it on the back, saying how great it was. And I loved both of them. So I guess if you like Tilly books and you like Katie O'Neill books, you'll probably like this too. That's why I said Current Boom. I feel like Current Boom is really character-driven stuff. And yeah, there was a cool adventure in this, and there was like witchcraft and magic. But I really fell in love with the characters, you know?
Yeah. Here's a question that I can answer from Travis Gilmer. The next episode of Batter Days in the Batcave is going to be the Batman TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, the first book. We're going to be discussing that with hopefully Tyler Blunt, who just called me on the phone.
I thought I heard you pick up.
I know. I'm like, hey, I'm on the air. Okay, I'll call you back. Yeah, so hopefully Tyler Blunt will be on with us since it was his idea. This next book, I don't have to read the back from because I just read it and it's fresh in my mind. And that is Chip Zdarsky's and Mark. Oh, you read it too?
I haven't read it yet. I just picked it up from the library, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try not to spoil it for you. It is. This is also actually every book I read this week got like 5 stars from me. It was crazy. It was this is a really interesting concept. It takes Spider-Man from his beginning in 1962 and ages him all the way through 2019. And it includes all the major events that happened in there, like Civil War, the Clone Saga, Green Goblin, Flash Thompson getting killed in Vietnam, Symbiote, Secret Wars, all the various events and clones here and there. And okay, I don't want to spoil it for you, but Gwen Stacy obviously plays a big part in this. And Mary Jane Thompson plays Mary Jane plays what the heck is Mary Jane's last name? I said Mary Jane Thompson. Why do I what's Mary Jane's last name?
She's like Beyonce. It's just Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, okay. Mary Jane plays
a
big part in this, of course.
Watson.
Mary Jane Watson. Yeah. And so it ages him naturally through till he gets really old with various families that he has, various wives that he has. He works for he works with Reed Richards at the Future Foundation, and he gets a black costume, and he gets older, and it's amazing what he goes through, as he ages, because he ages and he goes through as an older guy through all these various things. And it is, of course, brilliant art because it's Mark Bagley, and it is brilliantly written because it weaves in all the various things that Spider-Man has gone through in all his crazy adventures, including some Superior Spider-Man stuff, and it ends mostly with Civil War going on, and Tony Stark being like a super jerk, as everybody knows. Like right here. It is so well written Oh, and also Spider-Verse. Here's some Spider-Verse stuff that he has to deal with. So it's really neat how, and it's not choppy at all. It all blends in really well. It's so well. It's like weaved together perfectly. It tells a really, really. I can't show you that page. That's a spoiler. I can show you this one. Here's Venom in space. So it shows. It's just so well written. It's not like stuff is jammed in or forced in. It's really organic, and it's told, as I say, as he ages, and so he's like not a super old guy, but he's an older guy, and his reflexes get slower, and he's not able to move as much, and he has final adventures, and I think this is just one of the best books. This is definitely one of my top books of the year. It was so well written and really moving, really poignant, really moving. I have it on good authority that a guy named Omar actually cried at the end of the story. And I can see why, because if you are invested in Spider-Man, this was truly a well-written book that will move you possibly to tears, but at least break your heart a little bit.
I'm in. I need to cry. I need to.
Yeah.
No, I've heard so many good things about it from like everyone.
Yeah, you will love it. I mean, there's no way you can't love it. It's just so well done. And I was sort of one of the ones that thought, I always think, can an artist write? And Chip Zdarsky's obviously an artist that can write. Some artists can't write. I won't name them because that's not what I'm about right now.
You'll just pay them in root beer?
Yeah. I'll just throw root beer in their face at a convention. But he is multi-talented and a really good writer. Really good.
I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, you will dig it.
And here's one I think you'll dig. Ooh. And it's also full of heart, and it'll tug at your heartstrings. I don't know if you'll cry. I don't think I cried, but it was great. And that is The Sound of the World by Heart. So this is put out by Lionforge. And it also says the Magnetic Collection. So maybe, do they do things together? Magnetic Press and Lionforge? I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, they do a lot of things together.
Do they? Okay. So I guess that's what this is. Again, I'm going to read the back. An experiment in social isolation turns into a journey of self-discovery as a photojournalist commits to spending 60 days in New York City without talking to a single person. More than just an exercise in observation and self-control, he's hoping to forget a troubled past and mend a broken heart. But the city has a sneaky way of throwing the best laid plans and noble efforts to waste, revealing secrets that lie right in front of him, as all he has to do is open his eyes. So it is about this guy. He's a photojournalist, like they said. They got it pretty right. I love this art, by the way. It's very clean and simple. Mm-hmm. And reading something where there is just very minimal communication. So he allows himself, he's writing a story about going through the city, again, for 60 days without talking to anyone, especially in a city like New York City, where there's people everywhere. He puts on headphones. He does his best to he's allowed to write a note to the Starbucks lady, to get his order or whatever. He's allowed certain very minimal communication. He can talk to his agent in the morning, via chat. Again, just very quickly. So his article is on track and everything. So he starts taking these pictures everywhere because he's logging everything that's going on with him. Again, he's trying to mend his broken heart. So there's some flashbacks throughout it, and he went through a lot. So he starts taking these pictures, and he develops them, and he sees that there's the same redheaded woman in nearly every picture he's taken throughout the city. Also, he develops them like this, and she's in color. So that's also weird.
I like this already.
Yeah, so it's very intriguing. So that happens, and he's like, what is going on? Who is this? I never once noticed this woman. What's going on? It's so hard for me not to tell you what happens, because the twist and turns throughout this, like, it was just so well done. It's very unexpected. I'm being careful about what I'm like showing you too, because I don't want to ruin anything. All I will say is it's deeper than the back of the book. It's deeper than the description or anything I'm really telling you. And it'll really make you like think about your life, you know? It'll make you see the world differently, I feel like. Like the title is The Sound of the World by Heart, and I feel like it's the perfect title. It is a journey like you'll never find in another book.
Wow.
It was really uniquely done. And then there's pages like this. Just the way he communicates in it, and that's him counting down until the end of this experiment.
Okay.
And again, I feel like I can't say much more, but
yeah,
it is a really unique journey and very interesting. Also, Spider-Man appears very briefly. He doesn't actually appear, but anyway. But yeah, the art was just gorgeous. It was really well done. I thought it was a really unique story, and you should check it out. I think you'll like it.
I definitely want to get this. I love the art.
And you have to, again, I feel like I can't tell you so much because of spoilers, but you got to find out what happens. You got to get it.
I definitely want to get this. And what are the pins on your coat?
That is, I don't know if I can get it up here. That's Arnold.
Oh, hey, Arnold.
And that's Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Cool.
And I thought that was funny because his hair is like the shape of his cheeks. So like his cheeks are like, anyway, it wasn't that funny, but I was like, same shape.
Okay. Oops, let me get the camera. Yoink. Okay, good. Let's see, the next book I have, I think you might like this book. It's a DC Vertigo book. I don't know if Vertigo's alive or dead. They still put out DC Vertigo books.
Is it Hex Wives?
Yes. How did you know?
I just got that from Hoopla and I saw your post on it.
Oh, okay. It is awesome. Hex Wives is great. Let's see. I'll read from the back, even though I just read it yesterday. The women are too powerful. They must be tamed. The war went on for centuries. On one side, a coven of perpetually reincarnating witches. Actually, there is some. No. A coven of perpetually reincarnating witches dedicated to cultivating their otherworldly abilities and guarding their independence. On the other side, an all-male conspiracy of witch hunters known as the Architects, determined to put an end to the power of their nigh immortal adversaries for good. Neither could land a decisive blow, and the result was stalemate. Until 2005, when everything changed. Now, Coven leader Isadora is a happy wife with a happy life in a cozy, quiet cul-de-sac in the town of Desert Canyon. She has no recollection of her many past lives, no memory of her membership in an ancient order of necromancers, no reminders of the endless war it waged, and no idea of the power that she and the other housewives of Desert Canyon possess. But you can't keep a good witch down, and these ladies are the best. Once they find out the truth about their white picket prison, the men that they thought they knew are going to have hell to pay. That is a way good description of this. It's like a Stepford Wives type situation setup. The men keep the girls in these houses. They don't have jobs. There's always a fire. There are desert fires. I don't know how they at the end of town, and they can't pass through them. So they really have no independence whatsoever because they can't leave the house. They can leave the house, but it's only to converse with neighbors. their neighboring witches who have no memory of being witches. And the architects are down below this city with technology, keeping them happily inebriated and sort of content just with their do-nothing lives of baking cakes, cleaning up the dishes, and just servicing their men. And they're doing that through the technology that they have. Let me see if I can find. I don't have the. There are a couple shots of what the technology place looks like, but they start to get clues. One of them is that one of the teenage girls, none of them have kids except for this next door neighbor has a teenage girl, and she starts to clue in on things when she starts getting her period. Then one of the wives accidentally cuts herself and gets bloody, and she starts to remember things. And they keep like the mother of all magic locked up, who they keep alive but barely, because they can't kill her. They can't kill her, but they can keep her deprived of her powers. And this book is a ripping good yarn, and I really loved it. I don't know if it's a one and done. It says that it ends the beginning. The art is by Mirka Andolfo, and it's by Ben Blacker. It could be the beginning of a way good series, or it could just be a one and done with a really great ending. I'm not sure, but it's told that it's told in a way that the women start to figure things out, and the men have hell to pay, as the back of the book says. And it's really, really done well. I thought this was an excellent book and a DC Vertigo title that I'm sorry to see DC Vertigo go, because this is a typical Vertigo title. Excellently written, out there about magic, and I just thoroughly dug it. And I think you would too, Kristen.
Yeah, I did recently check that out on Hoopla, so I'm going to read that soon. It looks awesome. That sounds good.
Let's see. I need some advice from the dog and cat. Okay. Let's see what the question is. I need some advice. About to buy my first Wonder Woman omnibus, but can't decide between Perez, Jimenez, and Golden Age. Okay, don't get Golden Age, because that's only readable by somebody my age or older. Jimenez is not good. The art is fantastic, so I wouldn't get that. It's not very well written, as well drawn as it is. This is my opinion. Kristen can speak up in a sec. If it's between those, I would go with George Perez.
Yeah, my guess was going to be Perez from what I've heard. I haven't read a single Wonder Woman story.
Oh, okay.
But everyone loves George Perez. And
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing about the other two. So
Yeah, I would definitely read George Perez. And if you really good starter Wonder Woman is Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang's New 52 Wonder Woman. That's a great Wonder Woman. That it's a good starter Wonder Woman. If you can get that for half off, I'd even recommend that before any others. Okay, Perez it is then. Good, Hayden, good.
awesome.
Did I miss anything? What is Inyo Asano?
That is a manga artist and writer. I was telling Travis that I hated one thing of his I've read, but I'm looking forward to Goodnight Pun Pun, which you've probably heard of. People talk about it.
I've heard people talk about it, yeah.
I heard it sucks your soul, so
Goodnight Pun
I
Pun?
don't know if I am ready. Some people say, I think it was David Codd in the group, he said it was like the most depressing thing he's ever read in his life. And I'm like, wow. I don't know about this, guys.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I still haven't read Upgrade Soul yet, so I don't need to read it. I'm still.
That's a different kind of soul suck, but yeah. I told him, I said, hey, you did buy Cats of the Louvre, so I think you'll read that eventually.
That's on my very soon to read list because I promised that I'm going to appear on the Thursday night manga show sometime before the end of the year. So I'm going to read Cats in the Louvre, and then I've got some Junji Ito that I'm going to read, and I'm not going to try Death Note. That looks too big. But I've got some other stuff that I'll read.
It's not that bad. It's just because you got that big chunker of a volume.
I do.
All right. My next book. You guys may remember me. I talked about, this is companion to a book I've talked about before. This is the Tea Dragon Festival. Now, the Tea Dragon Society is the one that came out before this. So this is very oversized. Let me pick up that Spider-Man book.
Oh.
Yeah, nice and oversized. It's fairly thin, but kind of chunky. It's chunky compared to the Tea Dragon Society. So if you've read that one, this is bigger. This is Katie O'Neill. I literally love every single thing she puts out. And I was looking forward to this so much. So I love Tea Dragon Society. And if you haven't read it, you really don't have to read it to enjoy this as well. But they're both great, so you should really just pick up both of them. Her art is beautiful. Look at these. I mean, come on. I love how she doesn't have, like, lines around her art. It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about a girl, Rin. She has grown up with tea dragons, which, if you recall from me talking about the Tea Dragon Society, these are the little tea dragons. And they're, like, smaller dragons, kind of medium dog-sized. And they have these, like, little roots and plants that, like, grow out of their heads that people cut off and make tea out of. So they're little tea leaves that, like, grow out of them, right? And they kind of keep them as sort of pets and make tea, and it's a whole thing. So in this universe, little tea dragons exist. But in this story, Rin is in the woods, and she's gathering things for, like, the village she lives in and resources, and she comes across this real-life dragon. So she's not just a little tea dragon. She's a very large, real dragon. So this dragon wakes up, and Rin is like, what? You're a real dragon? I didn't even know these really existed, right? Like, this is crazy. And the dragon's like, wait, how long have I been asleep? Like, what's going on? So she'd been sleeping for many years. So you get to find out why she just, like, randomly went to sleep in the woods, what happened. And you get to experience, you know, a real-life dragon versus a little tea dragon. So it's about Rin and her relationship with this dragon, and all of these beautifully drawn and just drawn out characters in this village. This whole, like, world that Katie O'Neill has created is just gorgeous and so fun and unique, and all of the creatures she makes up are just, like, every time I'm like, oh, I want this to be a real creature. Like, I want dragons to look like this, and, like, I want this to exist, right? Oh, okay, so I'm reading it back now. Maybe I should have already. The dragon had fallen asleep for 80 years. So she's real messed up and like, hey, wait, what's going on here? Like, what is life like? What's happening? It's been 80 years. So you kind of unravel that mystery and what's going on with that. And, you know, Rin is like, I gotta grab my uncle and his partner, who's like some kind of dragon humanoid. I don't really know. But it's all fun and great and beautiful, and you will just have such a good time. That's what I love about these stories. They're such feel-good stories. Like, if you read something that's soul suck, like we just talked about, you'll want to pick this up and just jump into this adventure. Look at this. These are just amazing, all ages stories that you will just jump into and have a great time and wish this were like real life. Like, don't you wish you could jump on a dragon and like fly away like that? It's beautiful. So I loved everything about this. I hope she keeps going in this world. Look at these illustrations. I just adore her art.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And OniPress puts these out, and these are like the production quality. Again, these are like these are bigger than my head. Like they're really, really nice quality books. So yeah, pick this up and pick up the Tea Dragon Society as well. Read that one first if you have both, but you could just pick this up if you want.
Nice.
You don't need to know it. Yep.
And are those two things that do you own those, or did you take them out from the library?
Oh no, I'll buy everything she puts out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that shows your commitment. You're buying those.
Yeah, I've been trying to save money lately. I'm like, oh, I know I'll love this, but I don't need to own this, so I'm just going to get it from the library.
Art Walker, I'm late. Can you guys start over?
Yeah. Okay, so we're reading the backs of books.
This next book, I think, was a fangirl special that alerted me to this. And it had come. I had to reread the first one because it had been so long. So I'm going to go over the first one just real quick. Whoops, this is the second one. And that's Heathen.
Oh, yeah.
Because the second one just came out.
I loved it.
Yeah. This is everything I read. I did a giant chunk of reading Thursday and Friday. Everything I read was like, this is going in my top 10 for
the best feeling, right? That's great.
Yeah, I'm like reading nothing but great books. And I'm going to have to read the back, but it's not a difficult concept, but a lot of stuff happens. The first volume, now I do have to be careful showing some stuff, but not a lot. In this first volume, Heathen. Adis is a Viking, a warrior, an outcast, and a self-proclaimed heathen. Adis is a friend to the Talking Horse Saga, rescuer of the immortal Valkyrie Brynhild, and battler of demons and fantastic monsters. Adis is a woman, born into a time of warfare, suffering, and subjugation of women. She is on a mission to end the oppressive reign of the god king Odin. And she has many adventures that are so cool, I can't even begin to tell you. She rescues, you have to climb up these mountains and go through this sacred fire to rescue Brynhild, this exiled Valkyrie, and she does because she's pure of heart. And whoops, I can't show you the lead, the goddess of love Valkyrie, because she's like always naked, but the art is really cool and her adventures are really cool. This is just the first book. So it ends with, wait, this is the first book, right? Yeah. It ends with the first book ends with Adis discovering the eye, right? This mirroring effect is a pain. The eye right here of Odin that he tore out so he could keep an eye on the earth. She steals it, squishes it, and says, "I'm coming for you, Odin." So that's book one, and it's awesome. And then comes book two, which I just came out. And she's dealing with a trickster god here. Adis the banished Viking sets sail in the open sea to reach Hemdall, the magic entrance to the land of the gods. She'll need the help of a crew of worldly pirate women and man-eating mermaids to survive the dangerous journey. Back on land, the cursed Valkyrie Brynhild and the goddess of love Freyja are chipping away at Odin's power, testing the god king's patience and tempting his wrath. So they're all about overthrowing Odin himself. And here she is finding out that the man-eating mermaids love apples, and she convinces them to help them navigate the North Sea and help the ship get to Hemdall, where Odin lives. So Odin is, and the ship is manned by women who are all freed slaves, and so their journey is fraught with peril, the mermaid saved them from some things, and they board a ship to make sure it doesn't have slaves on it because they don't like slaves being former slaves themselves. They let the people go. They just make sure there are no slaves aboard. But Odin is not, well, let's see, I can't really show you that. Well, I don't care. Just Odin is here with Freya as they discuss how Adis is coming for him to do battle, and how he's not nearly ready to give up power, and he's not nearly ready to let Brynhild be done with her exile in the mountaintop surrounded by fire. So it's an amazing book, and I wish it didn't take so long to come out, but it is one amazing book. I highly recommend this book to men and women alike, because Odin is not a kind god at all. He's a warrior. And the book ends with Odin's armies marching on the earth. And he's out for blood. And I don't know what the third book's going to be, but he's a warrior and he wants war, and he always likes war. And that is what they're trying to stop, these women. And it is an excellently written and really neatly stylized artistry in it. So I highly recommend Heathen. That's going in my top 10 too.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved it too. That is an OmniDog and OmniCat recommendation. You don't get those that often.
No, you don't. And Aiku, it's November right now, not December.
So there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of top books of the year,
Uh-oh.
this trilogy flew into my top when I recently read it as well. And that is The Dam Keeper.
A Dam Keeper? Where do you find these books?
So this is Dam Keeper. Again, there are 3. The second one, Dam Keeper, World Without, what is it called? Darkness. And then the last one that recently came out, The Dam Keeper, Return from the Shadows, with this gorgeous cover. So these are all from First Second. I'm going to take this dust jacket off because you know I don't like those. Yeah. Also, they're beautiful under, it's like a little stamp, and then there's a little character, and I love them. So they're cute little hardcovers. Okay, this book. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, so it's about this pig. His name is Pig. He lives in Sunrise Valley, and he is a dam keeper. His father built this contraption that's like a windmill, and their whole town is surrounded by kind of a wall, and the windmill is at the beginning. Here's the blueprints for what his father built. And his father put together this windmill to prevent this fog from seeping into the town. So there's this black fog that's outside of the town. Every night it comes, and the pig has to go to the windmill and like crank it up and get it ready. And they call it the dam because it's preventing stuff from coming through. And then it basically blows away the fog so it doesn't seep into the village and kill everyone. Because, you know, it's a deathly fog.
Wow.
And it looks like this. So then the windmill goes. Every night he does this. He puts in a lot of hard work and effort. And the pig is just, I mean, he's still in school. His father's not around anymore. So what happened with his dad, this kind of all starts out with a flashback to his father one day, after being the dam keeper for so long, just walks into the fog. Which implies he died, right?
Yes.
So that's terrible. And it starts out pretty upsetting. And this is like an all ages book, I would say. But it does start out pretty like, oh, that's sad and upsetting. So there's like the fog taking over his dad, which is a beautiful image. The art in this PS is amazing. I think it's digital painting. That's what it looks like. But it's just absolutely gorgeous. And upon further research of this, there is a short film called The Damned Keeper. It's an animated film that the two creators on this made while they were working on Monsters University. They are art directors for Pixar.
Oh, wow.
So you can tell that's why the art is so incredible, and it looks kind of animated too.
Yeah.
So this is actually a continuation of that short film, which I haven't watched. So the beginning is really kind of a recap of what happened with his dad. I'm kind of wondering if that's what the film is about. But you can jump into this and not know anything about that because I still haven't watched it. I intend to because I loved it so much. But yeah, so what happens is, one day the fog gets worse and it starts threatening the entire village. And the pig and his two friends, Fox and Hippo. Hippo is kind of a bully, but Fox is their mutual friend. They all kind of realize that they have to journey outside of town where this deathly fog is happening in order to save their village. And that's pretty scary for them because that's, they've never done that. And there's, again, just beautiful art throughout. I can't really say much more because it goes into the next books and I don't want to ruin all of them for you, but the entire trilogy, it wraps up so well. You will meet a ton of just characters you're going to absolutely love. You're going to have the feels, and it is so unique. And the fog thing, all of it's just so unique and well done. And I can't say more about this art, by the way. The whole time I was just blown away by the art. So this is just a beautiful journey. You're going to have a good time. You're going to be on edge, wondering, is the fog going to kill everyone? Like, what's going on? It's so great. It's so good. So I probably didn't do justice, but I feel like there's a lot I can't say because the following volumes, it would just ruin it all. But yeah, it's great.
I think you did a good job. You got me interested.
You should definitely check it out. I'm trying not to show spoilers, but
yeah,
you have to see how incredible this art is. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So yeah, that is the Damned Keeper trilogy. I don't even want to open the other ones because I'm trying not to ruin this volume too.
Yeah.
But they're all so good. And that's from First Second, yes.
Wow, those sound awesome.
One of my favorite things, for sure. I think this is in my top 10 of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a controversial book that I didn't think was controversial because I loved it. I loved Volume 1 and I loved Volume 2 and 3. I just got 3, but I had to read, a lot of times I have to do this. I got to read Volume 2 to catch me up so I can read Volume 3. So I had to reread Volume 2 again, and that is Skyward. This is Volume 2, and the premise is that gravity has disappeared from the Earth, and people have to learn how to deal with gravity not existing anymore, or most of gravity has disappeared. And in Volume 2, you find out Willa is the hero. She lives in Chicago. Her father is murdered in this book, or floats away to his death. So she seeks answers elsewhere, and she finds a farming community outside the city, way outside the city. And it turns out there's giant bugs and people with wings, and they farm. And what they farm is food for the people of the cities. That's how they make their living. And so they also happen to have a plan, these farmers, to invade and take over Chicago. There's another subplot going on where the key to restoring gravity is apparently in Kansas City. So Willa decides that she makes some friends in this huge bug infested place where the farmers are, to they are going to go try and head off and inform the people of Chicago that they're going to be attacked, while she is going to go to Kansas City and try and catch up to the main villain of the story, who's also going to Kansas City, who has her father's plans. And they're going to try and restore gravity. So this is book 3 and the final book, and it's awesome. This is a great book with great art, and I loved every concept and thought about this. This is really well thought out, really well done, and Willa is a very likable heroine. I don't know if I'm giving it away, but there's no cure for no gravity that they find. But what they find is a subterranean culture. They jump down a tube and find a subterranean culture that was her father's idea. He knew gravity was going to stop existing as a scientist. He knew it was going to happen. Kind of like Jor-El knew Krypton was going to blow up, but no one would listen to him. So he helped build this underground city where there's a dome on top, but there's through technology they can grow things, and they live a bit of a normal life underground. And his idea was to build many of these. And so Willa has to deal with the fact that there's no cure for gravity, but there is a bunch of, there is a chance that people can live a normal life there. And she discovers that her mother, who was thought long dead, has been following her and is a friend who is now going to help her. And it's a great book, because here you see all the giant bugs getting ready to invade and destroy Chicago, and there's a giant battle that happens. And Willa has made her way back to Chicago to tell these people about the underground existence of the underground existence of this place that can save them all. And it's a whole thing, and it's really great. I just loved all of Skyward. I love this book. I don't know if it's in my top 10, but I highly recommend this series, Skyward. I thought it was a heap of fun. Really, really fun art, and I just really loved it. And I think it's great. I just had a blast with this book, and I think it is just a ton of fun.
What's the controversy?
The Faria gave it a 0.
Oh, well, she does that with half the books she reads. I still need to read the last one. I wasn't blown away by it, but I liked it. I liked it fine. I wouldn't give it a 0.
Yeah, I just thought the whole concept was really fun, and I loved Willa. I thought she was a great heroine.
I like that they rode those bugs. That was fun.
I know. And that's the last of my books.
Awesome. Mine too.
Oh, you're all done?
Yep, did 5.
Well, right on. Any questions from the group before we sign off from the chat? Also was waiting to see how Jess reacts to the ending. What ending? No manga yet, Jess? No, I
think they're talking about Skyward ending.
Skyward ending.
Was there a crazy ending? Yeah, Freddie's saying that he thinks the Faria's rating was based on the ending. I guess I need to check out the ending.
I thought the ending was fine. No, the ending was fine. I like the ending. One of Jess's books of the year will be American Carnage. Oh yeah, Taylor Brown tells me I need to read that. I did get that. Jess, have you seen The Joker yet? I haven't. I need to see that, and I need to see Dr. Sleep too.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Here's a question. Kristen, are you going to pick up the Hellmouth Omnibus or just the trades?
I don't know about a Hellmouth Omnibus. Is that real, Hayden? Because I haven't seen that solicited.
What is that?
Hellmouth is the Buffy Angel crossover they're doing right now. I won't be picking up any Buffy trades because I am picking up those singles. So if they come out with a nice edition, maybe.
Oh yeah, I was going to give away a book. I knew I was going to forget.
And you said you were going to forget.
I said I was going to forget.
I forgot too. I was like, I'll remember it. No, I won't.
Ask Kristen questions. I'll go get it. Just a sec. You knew I was going to forget.
Definitely forgot. No one has questions for me. It's fine. Hayden, please tell me if that's real. Because if that's real, I definitely want the Hellmouth Omnibus. But are they going to have enough issues for that? I don't understand. Travis, have I read Mice Templar? I haven't, but I've wanted to. I actually picked up a volume in a store the other day, and I was like, I need this. So, is it worth it? Do I need to read it? I feel like I do. Oh, pre-orders on Amazon. Okay, Hayden, I didn't know about this. I'm going to check it out. Thank you. Then I'm definitely going to get the Hellmouth Omnibus because I need that. I'm looking it up now. Thank you. Do I get pleasure for getting Jess to buy more books? Always. Yes. I mean, it's the highest compliment when you talk about a book and he's like, I got to buy that. It's the best.
Okay. I'll do a random number generator. And the book is from, I actually haven't done this enough because he gave me a lot of books to give away and I keep forgetting. Super awesome comic guy gave me, what month is this? November? Probably back in September. He gave me a bunch of books to give away just out of the kindness of his heart, and he didn't want any knowledge of his name given out. He just wanted it done because he's a good guy. So I take no credit for this. I give all the credit to Super Awesome Comic Guy because he is a good guy. And he gave me 2 of these. So this is the last one I can give out. And that is Goon Library Volume 1. And I'm pretty sure this is out of print. I think all
definitely out of print. Yeah, they all are.
So I didn't.
And those are really nice library editions.
Yeah, I didn't flip it on eBay.
But you could have.
I could have, but I didn't.
You get credit.
So here's what I'm going to do. If you write me at omnidogsvault2@gmail.com, let me put that in the, let me write that in here. OmniDogsVault2. Can you believe that there was already an OmniDogs Vault?
It's probably a fan account and you weren't fast enough.
You're probably right. OmniDogsVault2@gmail.com. If you send in your name and just put in this subject header, book giveaway. I can't believe it took me 3 seconds to come up with that subject header, but it's not Chad OmniDog. So send in your name and that you want to win the book to OmniDogsVault2@gmail.com and let me open up my email. Where's my email? Gmail. Okay.
Well, while you wait for that, Kim Collects asked if we have any reading goals for 2020. And to that, I'll say, now that you're using Goodreads, you should do the reading challenge which looks like this. I'm very behind. Well, you can't even see that. It looks like something. Oh, kind of. Oh, there you go. Okay. So I'm quite behind in my goal. I've read 326 out of 500. I'm working on it. I refuse to change it. So we'll see what happens. But every single year, January 1st, I set a new Goodreads reading goal. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do this year or next year because I haven't hit my 500. I'm quite away from it, but I think I can still do it. So we'll see.
Oh,
but
okay.
you should do it. Is the best way to track your reading of all time. Nope, you get the app.
No, I don't like goals.
You get the app. You're on Goodreads anyway.
I know. I don't like goals for books. I don't like goals for anything. I'm not a goal-oriented guy.
Well, then make it 10.
Okay.
Well, no, make it 10, and then you already suppress it, and then you just really the goal word is just subjective. I use it because you just hit your reading challenge, and it shows you all your recent stuff, and that's how I know what I've rated. It's just the easiest way to be like, okay, this is what I've recently read this year. This is what's going on. This is what I thought about it. It's the easiest and best way to do it. You just hit your reading challenge, and there it is. It's very convenient. You may just want to try it out.
Okay, I'll consider that.
It's not really about the goal. It's about the convenience. So when someone's like, what have you recently read? You're not like, you could just be like, oh, okay, it's right here. I got it.
Again, I am giving away the Goon Volume 1 Library Edition from Super Awesome Comic Guy. Email me at omnidogsvault2 at gmail.com. And let's see, do I have... Oh, yeah. Lots of people. Okay. Good, good. We have people coming. Yeah, well, one thing I have been doing is I have been consistently entering what I've read into Goodreads. That's one thing I've been doing.
Isn't it nice to have a place where you keep track of it?
Yeah. It's much better than the pencil and paper thing that I was doing. Oh, Taylor Brown, be quiet. Okay, I'll give this another minute or two because it's after 4 and I gotta go feed my dog.
And I gotta feed the cats.
Wow.
It's time. I also had to hit out of town.
Oh, you're heading out of town?
Yeah, we're
your anniversary.
Yeah, just like a little night trip, I guess. It's not daytime by the time we get out, so it's still daytime right now, but not by the time we get there. Yeah, we're gonna go to Half Price Books. You know, we don't have one locally, so we're going out of town for it.
Cool.
I like a good deal, you know.
I do too.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Okay, I'm going to pick the winner with a random number generator, so 1 second. And it is, I don't know how to say your last name properly. I apologize. Matthew Mongi? Matthew Mongi, am I saying it right? Mahi? It's Manghi. Matthew, how do you pronounce your name? I'm so sorry. You're such a talented artist. I see your stuff on Instagram all the time. It's crazy good. Matthew Mongi. Maybe it's just Mongi. You are the winner of the Goon Library Volume 1.
Nice.
Thank you to everyone that participated. And thank you for reminding me to give it away. I knew I was going to forget.
And the good news is, if you don't want to read it, you just use it for intruders, because that thing is a weapon.
Yeah.
It's very thick.
Matthew, just send me your name and address. Well, I have your name. Send me your address to OmniDogs Vault 2 at Gmail. Send me your Yes, that last pronunciation was close. Mangi. Okay. Send me your mailing address and I will get this out to you this week. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to all my viewers, all our viewers, and thank you to OmniCat for doing this with me. This is always fun. I always learn new books that I'm, of course, going to buy, and yeah, that must be a good feeling to hook me and super bait me, as Gabe calls it.
It's the best. I know I did well when you're like, I need to buy that.
I know.
Or you get a manga.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I must have sold that. Nice.
Yeah. And thank you to all our viewers, and thank you to the chatters, and of course, peace and love. Peace and love.
Thanks, everyone.